Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Body.
Hello.
Today, we're going to talk a little bit about, my journey reversing and getting out of the competition world. I don't know if that's a really good way to say it.
We're going to talk about your new you.
The new me. I think that's a great way to put it. Yes, the new me. Because for the last 3.5 years, for those who have maybe not been following us, I have been competing in bodybuilding, and that has been my whole world. And we'll talk a little bit about that in this episode. But now for the last, it's been like 10 weeks or 11 weeks or something. We're over 2 months out.
Yeah.
I have been resuming my life, trying to call in some of the old me, but figuring out who this new version of me is now at 43 years old without competing.
Yeah, because you learn it so much on your journey and you change it so much inside that it's now time to create the new one, because the old one you never can be again.
We would have this discussion all the time where I would say, when I'm done competing, I'm just going to go back to the way I used to be because that makes sense to me. That's intuitive. That's how I always was. And you would be like, no, you're not. That old you doesn't exist. And you couldn't be more right. I tried to call on some of that old me just as a place of comfort and to give myself some confidence, okay, I can be this way. But I realized no, I have a new outlook on health, a new outlook on fitness, a new outlook on how I want to age, how I want to look, how I want to feel. All of these things are so different.
And also what you like to do.
100%.
I always say that, I know can sound very weird, but I love to work out on my Friday nights, by myself at my home gym until a little bit late, doing my workout. Of course, if I have something better to do that I don't know what it is, but and I like that Alan, my husband, he joined me and we make a good time together. That for me is fun.
Yeah.
That for me is something that I enjoy to do. It's like you like to work out on your Saturday. Do you need? No. Maybe you're gonna say no, Saturday is for relax, for rest. But yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. Maybe it's not what people normally see or normally like to do, but we like it.
I agree. And I do think that when you're competing, when you're in prep, you are so structured. There is a prescribed plan for everything. There is a prescribed plan for your diet, for everything that you eat and drink, for every weight workout, every cardio workout. Every minute is so regimented and so prescribed that when you decide, A, I'm going to take a break from competing, or B, I'm done competing, I will retire, it's overwhelming to then have all of this freedom to do whatever it is you want. And that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because you start to doubt whether or not you have the strength to continue to eat healthy, continue to be regimented in some way, continue to want to work out, push yourself to do weights, push yourself to do cardio, because all of these things were just so routine, robotic. And now when you have the decision to do it or not, it's a stressful place for a little bit to figure out where you're going to land. Are you going to be good, or are you going to fall off and gain a bunch of weight and not work out and then, be that person?
I feel you, because I think when we are competing, we have a goal. Even off season or on prep, we have a goal. When we have only the lifestyle, the only goal that we have is look good.
Yeah.
But that is not something that, okay, it's in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so I can control myself a little bit more. I can do this extra cardio. So I think the hardest part is figuring out this new you, this new routine. And I'm so glad to be by your side. And because I went through this in 2017, for me it was very, very hard. I even get a little bit, I never in depression, but I was a little bit, sad about it, because it was the decision that I didn't make myself. Life made for me. That ended up the best decision because I believe in cycle, and that cycle was
Has ran
done.
its
So
course.
yeah, so I could like focus on my career. But anyway, it was so hard to realize that first, I don't need to work out. I do if I want. I don't need to eat health. I do if I want. I don't need to post on my social media. That was something that always kept me motivated because people interacting, when's gonna be the show that like no, because people don't care anymore. So who am I? What do I do? What do I like? I was so serious my situation when I retired that I didn't know what I like to wear to go out because my 5 years competing, I didn't buy any clothes to myself. You remember a little bit, right? I didn't
It's
have.
funny. I almost like forgot how to dress up, you know? I'm like, how do I put an outfit together with some shoes? Like, you forget.
What do I like?
Yeah.
And especially because I was in very hard financial situation when I competed. So okay, that I was having a little bit extra money because I was not competing anymore. And I remember that I went to a store and I didn't buy anything because I didn't know what I liked. I was like, where am I gonna wear that? And then you start like to feel comfortable with your body. So for me, it was very hard until I get myself together and recreated the new me. So for me to be on your side and can talk and can help you build this new you has been very excited, especially because I'm so proud of you.
And I'm so glad to have you with me because it's like easy to get in my head about all of these things. And I think for any woman who's on a weight loss journey or wants to put on some muscle or change your body composition, it's just like the roller coaster that we go through in our own heads is a lot. And our husbands don't understand,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And our friends sometimes don't understand because no two people really have the same body or same goals or issues or whatever the case may be, right? So, like, changing your body composition, being on a weight loss journey, trying to stay fit, stay healthy, especially as we age, it's sometimes like a lonely situation.
Yes, and when I asked you to talk about your journey and this new time of your life, is because we look up to you as a holy model, the queen, an inspiration. And a lot of people think like for you it's, oh, no, 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 it's easy because she likes, it's easy because she doesn't like to eat fast food or this and that. And the truth is it's not easy.
Right.
You do the work.
Yeah.
And even now that you're not competing anymore, you still put in the same effort every day because you different in a lot of people. Even you don't have the competition, you will still have your biggest goal that is aging good, and that for you is priority. And yes, we need to share so people can get more related to see like yes, it's hard, but see, she's not competing anymore and she's keeping up,
Yeah.
And when we're talking about like the journey, it's never gonna end. And it's why I always telling her when she was like, also like, it's like, look at me. I do cardio every day and work out. Basically, we get to use it. We love what we do. We miss when we don't do. And it's the only way to be who we want to be.
Yeah.
Because every day we have to make this decision. Because what we're going to do the long of the day is going to say who you are, not what you think you are. So we want to know more. How has been, for example, how often you've been eating like out of your routine now?
Yeah.
How has been the macros? I know, but share with our babies. How has been have this freedom and at the same time
Restriction. Freedom in like freedom to do what I want, but restriction in my own mind to not revert back to like some version of me that I don't want to be. But
what make you don't do the wrong thing even now that you can do whatever?
That's such a good question. And so when I was done with the show, I reversed myself back slowly, meaning I was at a calorie deficit because I had just done this show, and I increased calories a little bit, like back to what my baseline is. And I know through online calculators or through body fat tests that I've done that like my resting metabolic rate is around like 1700. Okay, so I know 1700 calories is like a good amount if I want to sort of stay the same without losing weight, without really gaining weight. So I was scared to go back there, to be honest. I mean, I was at 1600. Actually, I think still even now, 2 months out, over 2 months out, I'm still right below 1700 because I'm really scared of gaining body fat. Like, I'm really scared of gaining weight. So I took myself back to this place, like, okay, in order to eat more calories, I want to be able to introduce foods that are healthy for me. So, like, I don't want to just go straight through to junk food or eating out or alcohol, right? Like, these are all things that I maybe would have done in the past. Like, oh, let me catch up with all my friends. Let's go out, happy hours, dinners, breakfasts, brunches, all these things. And I said, no, 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 no. I'm going to keep eating out to 2 times a week maximum. And when I'm eating at home, I'm going to like introduce foods that are good for me, that I love, like chia seeds, sunflower seeds in my salad, more avocado, some tahini dressing. I want to eat more tofu, more tempeh because I'm mostly plant-based. Like, I want to eat fruit and not count it, right? Not count the calories. I just want to eat as much fruit as I want. That's kind of like, these are the things I did to get myself back into like this feeling of freedom. You know what I mean? So I kind of had some like, I don't want to say limitations, but I set some boundaries for myself because it's easy to say like, oh, I'll figure it out. I trust myself. I'll just go with the process. And then, you know, it's summertime and you're going out for like happy hours and like you end up eating some chicken wings and like, you know, drink after drink after drink. And it's like, it's really easy to get in that habit, right? It's easy to lose control of something that you had control over.
Yeah, especially weekends. Like we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes.
And I always say that, like, pick one day.
Yeah.
You want to drink one day. The alcohol is still on your like body for 2 hours. It is hard. So all the water retention, the inflammation, the alcohol, it can inflame more your body than the sugar.
And
you know,
when I drink the next day, I don't give a shit. I lose my, you know, I lose all my shits. I'm like, I will be, if I drink too much,
I want
I
to
will
eat something delicious.
I just don't care. I'm like, feed me whatever. What's the easiest thing to get into my mouth? I will eat it. I don't care. And so that's a reason why before I competed, I would like to drink often. I would have wine all the time, every night, like always. Drinks on the weekends, like never a problem. And this time I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And I wanted to make sure I set the boundaries, especially about eating out, because I think that this is where you can lose control really quickly and escalate your calories very, very quickly. I happen to like the food I cook. So even though I ate the same thing for 3.5 years, when I had the freedom to not be on this plan, eat whatever I want, I actually like my food. I just like more of it or maybe change it a little bit, but I enjoy it. So that was great. And I'm like, I don't want to go eat out every single meal. That to me isn't good. First of all, it's not as good as my own cooking. Not that I'm not a great cook, but I don't enjoy it as much. And secondly, it's so expensive now to eat out. It's like, it has to be really worth it, you know? And so I go out mostly for like the social aspect of it.
That is the other problem too, especially for you. You have a lot of friends, and it's why I always like get my girls like, oh, I had a birthday, I had a wedding, I had this and that, and I know, it is hard. It's hard to just go there and see people drinking, eating, and don't like do the same.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, now the difference is before when you were on prep, when those situations happen, you start to get, annoyed a little bit, like
I feel like I'm missing out.
Yes, like, oh my God, all my friends are there drinking and eating, and I'm here with my Tupperware. Now you have your Tupperware, you happy, you know?
It's funny how that is true. Like in case nobody's like following past prep updates, I would always bring my food out. I would avoid going out to social events because it was just too brutal. Like when you're in prep, you have low energy, you have to bring your own food, and it's just like you can't really enjoy it like everybody else is. So it's a little bit of a drag. But I would like nonetheless, if I went out, I would bring my own food, bring my Tupperware. And that was the norm for me. But yeah, sometimes I would get like annoyed about it. Like, just like, I'm so sick of bringing my Tupperware. I'm so sick of not being able to enjoy. I'm so sick of this, so sick of that.
I just wish if I could.
Yes, right. But now that I am not on prep, I'm like, I will bring my Tupperware because my food's better. It's weird how that like how it changes mentally with nothing else changing. It's just like it's funny how that happens.
It was exactly about these that I was talking to you before.
Yeah.
You make the decision to take a break. Because it's that, and it's like if you are on your
weight loss
journey, just keep it going. And we always try to talking about enjoy the process because it's that.
Yeah, it really is that. I mean, and I know one thing that helps me when I go out is, well, my husband, Adnan, does not care about what he eats. So actually, Adnan, this is how Adnan cares, which I love. I'll give him a little shout out. We will like go run on Wednesday nights, and sometimes we'll go like out right down the street to this restaurant, and I will get a salad with salmon or salad with tofu on it, and he'll be like, I'm going to get the burger. I think I'm going to get the burger. He's already planning this, talking it out loud. I'm like, why would you go for a run and then go get a burger and French fries? And so by the time we get to the restaurant, I and himself have talked him out of it. So he's getting the salad too, but it's like things like that. And also like having my friend Sue, she's very into her health and fitness and what she eats. So like being at a restaurant with her too, it almost like helps us stay accountable, even if we don't talk about it. It's like we both just know we're on this journey together. We know that we know the right things to do. And so it's almost like we don't let ourselves loose too much. But one of the things I was really worried about also coming off of prep and figuring out like how I'm going to work this into my life, like what is a new me going to be like, is working out. Because while I found this, well, I didn't find it. I've worked out in a gym since I was very young, but I found like this passion for being strong and for being muscular. And I was also doing a lot of cardio. Now, before I was competing, I was doing some like home workouts. So like more toning than building muscle and doing a lot of cardio, right? So that was just like my kind of thing. And now it's different. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, I don't need to keep the same degree of muscle. So will I make myself, or will I want to go to the gym as much? And also I don't need to do as much cardio. So will I decrease my time, like the amount of cardio I do in a day? And will I decrease the amount of days I do cardio? And I was really nervous because while exercise isn't the main driver of your fat loss, right? Or how skinny or thin you are, it's a big part of your life and how you feel and just like how fit you are and how strong you are. And it's like translates in all these other areas of your life. And I was worried that I would have been so fatigued from working out so much during prep that I would be resistant to wanting to keep that up. But what I found was that being able to work out the way I wanted to, being able to structure that however I wanted to, allowed me to find things that I love to do, like I'm so grateful for that. And that was probably the biggest thing is like, do I need to be as strong and muscular? No. So then I don't have to go to the gym and do weights 5 days a week. I can reduce that to 3 and still hit my goals and maintain my goals and adjust as needed. And for cardio, I can actually do cardio things that I love, like that I haven't been able to do. Because when you're in prep for a show, you got to do what your body needs. And your body likely doesn't need what you love to do or what even you like to do, right? So it's like, don't. No, right. And so for the whole 3.5 years, I used to love to run, and I didn't run for 3.5 years. Now I've regained my love for running, and I could not be happier. I literally could not be happier. But also now I can do spin on my Peloton. I haven't done spin on my Peloton for so long because of my quads, but now I do spin classes all the time.
And also you can take it a day off.
100%.
Or travel and just, enjoy your vacation without, I need to do cardio. And, and that's, yes, when you know how to use your freedom is the best part.
And I told you, because this is so true, is 1 week after I got back from vacation, which I went on out right after prep, I was like, I'm just going to do as much cardio this week as I want, right? I track it in my app every single day, like all my workouts. But I said, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to calculate in my head, when have I done cardio this week? How many more days do I have to do? I'm just going to, if I have time this day and I want to do cardio, I'm going to do it. And I ended up doing cardio 6 days that week because I wanted to. Like, I wanted to go out for a run, or I wanted to do this spin class that's on the schedule for Peloton. Like, I wanted to do this. On Sunday, it came Sunday, and I was like, I think I worked out every day this week, and I was like, I need a rest day. So that was a really good feeling to me, just knowing that organically that comes from like my soul.
Yeah.
I actually want to do it.
I think you are doing, you are making the best decisions because again, we are aging and the only way to aging well is be at the gym and eat health. And we love that. I know that you're not going to change much, but at the same time, the little things that you already had changed make a lot of difference in who you are.
Yeah.
I can tell that you are happier. And again, competition, it's amazing.
It is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about it all. Sometimes I feel like it sounds like I'm complaining, but like competing and prep and all of the discipline and sacrifice that comes with it is, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was an amazing experience that I might revisit in the future.
Yes.
I loved it.
I think we are who you are exactly because we went through on this deep relationship with ourselves, right? Because competition, yes, is a very selfish sport. Because most of the time you're gonna need to be on your kitchen by yourself, prepping food at the gym, doing your cardio by yourself, or even lifting weight. But yeah, I think it's that, it's amazing, but we need also to understand when we need a little break and using all the knowledge that we have from this time to become a better person and be, now you are coach. You can help a lot of people who doesn't know yet. Andrea is coach, fitness coach. She specializes in vegan. Of course, she can help any kind of client, but it's so good when you are specialized in something so you can help better because she has more knowledge how you can like building your muscle and being vegan. So I'm so proud of you for that. And I think competition brought so many good things to you. And I was excited to see you like, okay,
the new
now your new year. Because I know that like me, you would keep like most of what you do because it's that guys, forget it. If you want to look good, you need to eat health. You need to go to the gym. You need to do your cardio. Oh, I do Pilates. Okay, it's an extra. I do yoga. It's an extra. It's help a lot. I do bike, run. It's perfect. Extra. Don't forget to lift your weight because, for your health is good. I'm excited to see how, you're gonna be with your marathon that you are training now. She's training for a marathon.
Yes, training for a half marathon and then for a marathon. And I think that's, it's really nice when you find something that you love to do. And I mean, I don't love to do a lot of things, right? I don't love to do CrossFit. I don't love to like cycle, on the road. I don't like to do a lot of things. But when you do find something you love to do, like I love running. I'm not even good at it. Like I'm not fast. I'm not like I die. I'm I'm in the middle of the pack usually, but like I love it. It makes me feel great. It makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel free.
Challenge yourself.
Challenge myself. And I love that. I love my Peloton. I think I've had my Peloton for like 5.5 years, let's say. I have not missed 1 week of doing a Peloton exercise, like on my bike or on my treadmill, because it tells you, it calculates it. I've not missed 1 week. And what that tells me is I love my Peloton. I'm glad I have the Peloton treadmill, the Peloton bike, because I love it.
See, Peloton, sponsor us.
If you're looking for new instructors in San Diego.
We are here.
But I think it's so great. And I joined recently the local run club. So we run with them 2 days a week. And it's just a vibe. It's fun. It's people like you, and it's like, it just makes things more interesting.
Meet people in the same vibe, that make you excited to go, especially because the winter is coming.
Yeah, exactly.
And to have a group of people doing the same,
It
having the
just
same
motivates
energy.
you know? I don't want to go run a lot of times at 6:30 on a Wednesday evening because I'm tired. I want to eat dinner. But like, I know that there are hundreds of
Yeah.
people in this run club that are going to be out there. I'm like, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. But one thing I do want to note, because I haven't talked yet about where I've failed or not done well, because I think that that's important to note.
Yeah.
Because there are some, and I just talked about like, oh, you know, like all these things are great and, you know, whatever. But it's been really challenging in a lot of ways, such as, well, I have not weighed myself. I'm not going to call that a fail, but I haven't weighed myself because I know that seeing that number on the scale is going to mess with my head and it's going to give me a perception of myself that I am humongous. And I think that that's really hard coming outside of prep or coming outside of a fat loss phase. Is you maybe eat a little bit more, you gain a little bit more weight, and you all of a sudden see yourself as like big, fat, unworthy, undisciplined, undesirable, like not as attractive in clothes. You just don't feel like your best self. And I'm not going to say like I feel bad. Sometimes I do, you know, like sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, maybe I need to rein it in. There's always that thought in my head, but also I try not to know that number on the scale because I think if my clothes fit well, great. If I feel confident in a bathing suit or in clothes, great. But, you know, I was telling you today that my shorts were fitting a little tight and that messes with my head. Now, all of a sudden I go from feeling good, feeling like I'm doing all the right things to feeling fat in a matter of seconds because I tried on some shorts. And that's hard. And I'm not eating perfectly. There are nights where I will go out and have some pizza and have some drinks or I'll go to breakfast. You know, like there's things that I'm not like on a perfect strict diet. Like I'll eat something if I want it, but it's hard with like managing that, like finding that stability.
Especially because you've been lean for so long that you see yourself in a different way, bring out these feelings, like it's hard to you, like get used to it. I still okay, I still need to lose a few pounds, but I always do. But you know, I still missing my competition body. Even everybody tells me like, don't go back, you are too tiny, it's not for you. But you know, I like it, I love it, the way that it was, but it's not sustainable. I may look my best on my body, but my life was a little bit miserable.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's why you are in the building process, because sometimes not gonna happen, especially because you have much more muscle now than when you started. And believe, guys, 2 pounds in us looks like 10 pounds.
And it's interesting because I'm not a person who puts a lot of like weight on what people say to me. You know, like my self-worth is not based upon people's feedback. It just never has been, thankfully. Because if it was, I would be, you know, depressed probably a lot. But I was at the gym the other day, last week, and somebody I hadn't seen in a while comes up to me and it's like, oh, hey, great. You know, how's everything going? Like, you competing still? And I'm like, no, I'm on an off season, but I'm probably going to take a pretty long break. And they're like, oh, I can tell. And going into like compliments or whatever. So they weren't saying it to be like, oh, I could tell you look bigger. They were just saying, I could tell you're not in prep for a show or that I'm on off season. But that's the reality, is like, I think, like, how will people see me? You know, like, how will people, do I look big? Do I have like a blindness to my own size? Do people see me as being big now because they have always seen me as being small for the last several years? And that just is also a weird thing to like consider, how you look to yourself, but how you look to other people.
I think, of course, you don't look like 4 weeks out, but in my opinion, you look like you are on prep. A lot of people at the gym right now, you know, we are talking about the gym, is on prep and don't look good like you. Maybe the person said that because you are too happy to be in prep. But honestly, I don't think it's the case. I think you still like looking very good. And it's why I'm so proud of you, because even with the whole challenge that we know, yeah, we get some more tempted to eat like the extra foods that we love, and we're gonna do that sometimes. It's what I did. I remember that when I retired, I came from my best physique to my worst physique in like couple weeks.
It's so easy to.
So easy.
When you don't have that goal, anything driving you, you just want to say F it all. And
yeah, it's exactly like, you know what? I'm being on this deficit, on this kind of lifestyle for so long that I just wanna like don't track anything, eat bread every day, But if it was one, I was talking about 7, 8 breads in the morning. And cookies, cakes, because my mind wasn't good. And it's how I think I wanna like let it here for you guys. Is again how the mind is important on the game. Whatever your journey being, like lose weight, gain weight, whatever it is, don't forget to make your mind strong. And that is gonna be everything. I think you are only able to be where you are right now because your mind is very strong.
But I'll tell you what keeps my mind strong is keeping the commitment to myself. Because if I let myself go, like you had just mentioned, because our brains are wired to, after so much restriction, to just go that way and go the opposite direction. If I went that way, my mind wouldn't be strong. I would be depressed. I would be self-conscious. I would be disappointed in myself. All of these feelings that come with that. But the fact that I keep every day trying to make one good decision after another, I worked really hard for this body. It takes a long time to build muscle, a long time to get lean. Like, I don't want to let that go. Not just for aesthetics, not just to feel good and fit in my clothes, but like to feel strong, to feel like I am working on myself, to feel like I'm trying to age the best way I can, and like making one decision after another that's in line with that makes my mind strong. And when you said like what motivates you, like that is what motivates me. Like, I worked too hard and I know how good this feeling feels up in my head to let it go.
Yeah.
Because once you lose it, it's hard to get back.
Oh, yes, it is. So if you are right now in the middle of your process, just keep going. At the end of the day, we're gonna be what we decide to be. So if you already decide that you're gonna lose weight, that you're gonna be healthy, you got this. But see, Andrea, it's not being easy for her. Actually, it's so hard when you don't have a competition, a goal. And she is doing amazing because she knows at the end of the day, her goal, her deal with herself is bigger than anything.
Yeah, bigger than any bottle of wine or
maybe a glass.
yeah, but that's it. So, I mean, it's not a perfect journey. It never is perfect. What is perfect anyway? It shouldn't be perfect. I like a little bit of a, variability in there and a little bit of like challenge to enjoy it and to get back to the regimen of like being healthy and eating well. Like, I like that. This is our life. We have one life to live. Like, let's be able to enjoy it and then be able to rein it back in when we need to. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like all or nothing. And I think that is mostly what I'm trying to teach myself is like, I am an all or nothing person. When I decide to do something, I like go all in. And so now it's like, I need to find a little bit of a, enjoyment in the process and to like be a little bit easier on myself and to be able to enjoy all the things that life has to give, or else what's the point?
Yeah.
That's all.
All right, we're gonna keep, watching your journey. Thank you for sharing with us.
I love you, and thank you for all of your support because I couldn't do it without you.
Oh, you could, but with me, it's better.
It is way better. Well, thanks everybody. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we will talk to you next time on Behind the Body.